Pre-approval is financial clarity verified by documentation. That's it. It means the lender has reviewed your income, your credit, your debt, and your assets and has determined what amount you qualify for based on real numbers, not guesses. That's very different from a pre-qualification. A pre-qualification is usually based on what you tell the lender. A pre-approval is based on what you can document. That distinction matters. So if you skip pre-approval and start touring homes, two things can happen. First, you may accidentally look above your true comfort range. And as we talked about in a previous video, once you fall in love with something outside your range, everything else feels like a compromise. Second, you may find a home you love and not be ready to act. And in many markets, readiness matters. Even in Shreveport-Bossier, where the pace may not feel as aggressive as larger cities, desirable homes still move. When you find the right home, you don't want to say, give me a few days to talk to a lender. You want to move forward confidently. That confidence comes with pre-approval. There's also an emotional side of getting pre-approved, and this is something that most of the time we don't think about. Pre-approval reduces anxiety. When you know, this is my price range, this is my established payment, this is what I qualify for, you're no longer guessing. And when you stop guessing, you stop second guessing. Buying a home is emotional enough. You don't need uncertainty layered on top of it. That's why when people ask, do I need to get pre-approved? The better question is, do I want to feel confident or uncertain? Pre-approval creates confidence. But what if I'm just browsing? This is common. I'm just looking, I'm not ready yet, and I don't want to waste anyone's time. Well, here's the truth. Talking to a lender doesn't mean you have to buy tomorrow. It means you're gathering your information, and information puts you in control. Even if you're 6 months out or a year out, a conversation today can give you a roadmap. Maybe you're ready now. Maybe you need to pay down an account. Maybe you need to wait until you've been on your job for a longer period of time. Maybe you need to add to your savings. But now you know. That clarity is powerful. Not only that, but a lender's not going to feel like you're wasting their time if you come to them for pre-approval. Besides that, most lenders provide a pre-approval application that is completely online, which you can complete in less than 20 minutes, and they'll have an answer back to you in a reasonable amount of time. So it's not a waste of anybody's time to reach out for information. And if you're considering a move to the Shreveport-Bossier area and you're trying to understand what living here is like from a distance, I know how difficult that can be. I have been there myself. So I've created a relocation guide with you in mind. It'll help you understand what living here is like before you even get here, and also highlight some of the popular neighborhoods and what kind of vibe those neighborhoods have to offer. Now, if that sounds like something that'll be helpful for you, you can download it for free by clicking on the link in the description below. Now let's keep going. Now, this is how realtors view pre-approval. If you reach out to a realtor and ask to start touring homes, one of the first questions you'll hear is, are you pre-approved? That's not gatekeeping. That's just guidance. A realtor's role is to protect your time, your energy, and your emotional investment. They don't want you touring homes that underwriting may not support down the road. They don't want you emotionally committing to something that falls apart later. And they don't want to submit an offer that won't be taken seriously. Because here's another important piece. Sellers take pre-approved buyers more seriously. When you submit an offer with a strong pre-approval letter attached, it signals this buyer is ready and this buyer has documentation. That increases your leverage. Even in markets that feel balanced, pre-approval gives you an edge. If two buyers submit similar offers and one includes a solid pre-approval letter while the other one says, well, we're still talking to the lender, that decision becomes much easier for the seller. Prepared buyers win more often, not because they're wealthier, but because they're organized. And that organization begins with pre-approval. Now, in the Shreveport-Bossier market, pricing can vary significantly depending on the parish, flood zones, property age, insurance considerations, and even HOA structures. A pre-approval gives you a clear framework that's going to account for these factors. Without it, you're estimating. With it, you're evaluating strategically, and that's a major difference. Now, you might be saying, well, what if my credit isn't perfect? And here's where people hesitate. What if my credit isn't where it should be? Well, that's great. That's exactly why you want to talk to your lender early, because many financial situations are workable. Maybe you need to improve your debt to income ratio and pay some accounts down. Maybe you need better documentation. Maybe you need a few months to build up your available cash reserves. But now you have a plan. Pre-approval is not about judgment. It's about direction. So, do you need to get pre-approved? Well, if you want confidence, clear boundaries, stronger offers, plus less emotional stress and a smoother transaction, yes, 1,000 times yes. Pre-approval is part of the Financial Clarity Foundation. It turns inspiration into structure and wishful thinking into reality. Now, once you're pre-approved, you know your range, you understand your estimated payment, you can move quickly when the right house appears, and your realtor can strategize properly, and sellers will take you seriously. And that's when house shopping becomes productive. Now, here's something important. Even after you're pre-approved, there are financial decisions that can quietly affect your approval before closing. Opening new credit, making large unexplained deposits, or changing jobs at the wrong time. Those small actions can disrupt underwriting and cause your closing to fall through. Now, if you want to avoid that, watch my video on 5 financial mistakes that can kill your closing, and most importantly, how to avoid them. Because pre-approval gets you ready, but protecting that pre-approval gets you to closing.